Welcome to NAB Show 2014. It has been a productive day for many here in Las Vegas. NAB Show is where media professionals come to learn, explore, and check out the latest technology to help you do your job better. You'll see new products and chat with old friends. Nearly 100,000 registered for this year's show. There's 35 football fields of stuff to see. We are coming to you live from the center of it all, NAB Show Studio 1. Good afternoon, I am Rich DeMiro. We have a lot in store for you in today's show, including highlights from the show floor, interviews with company leaders, and more. Let's get started with some daily highlights.
So I'll choose a playing field and say that the essence of cinema is the storytelling. I believe that Homer had all the technology that he needed to ask his audience, what do you think they did with that horse next? And if the audience said burn it, it would have come out a little differently. So I think that it's important to recognize that we as humans respond to being taken on that journey by a good storyteller.
Technology is at a place that you know, 3 people and you could do something that looked like, it was 10 times the budget than it was. So creating things on a much bigger scale is becoming a lot easier, and I think that's what's making the distribution model of the streaming on Vimeo or YouTube or the like something that's taken seriously now. Now, anyone with no training whatsoever has the possibility of putting something up and getting thousands or even millions of views.
So I think that each and every one of you, if you have a script and you have an idea and you have a vision, I think if you had somewhere around $50,000 to shoot your film, and then you put it through a pipeline that could clean it up, put it in a place where it's ready to be viewed by people online or in theaters, and that pipeline held your hand, I think you could have a feature film.
As former FCC Chairman Mark Fowler noted in a recent op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, quote, broadcasting kept more than 8 million people safe and informed during Hurricane Sandy. Broadband can't do that. And if the commission is really serious about competition, it will study how broadcasting can be a competitive check on cable and wireless industries. In its national broadcast plan, the FCC should also refocus itself on some of the primary goals of the Communications Act. Without broadcasting, who will carry out the public's interest mandates of diversity and localism, to say nothing of children's programming, political events, and observing decency standards of local communities? We also cannot afford to risk disenfranchising those in society who rely most, if not exclusively, on broadcast TV and radio as their primary source of local news, emergency updates, sports, and entertainment. Our government leaders, at least as I hear it, have placed a high priority on giving a voice to those whose voices often go unheard. Those people who live in rural communities, in low-income areas, many in our minority communities, and seniors, and increasingly young techies. Ironically, these are the very people who would be harmed the most by a spectrum incentive auction that is not carried out judiciously. It seems the FCC is at odds with the very constituencies that the White House values the most. Through aggressive advocacy in Washington, I promise you this: NAB will remain committed to ensuring broadcasters' long legacy of serving the American people. Whether it's attempts by big record labels to impose a tax on local radio stations for simply playing music, or pay TV companies' attempts to get out of fairly compensating broadcasters for the most highly viewed content they resell, you can be sure we will not let down our guard. The enduring value of broadcasting remains. It is the ultimate survivor. In many of your key sales markets, Hispanics now represent anywhere from a quarter to more than half of the population. So I guess that brings up the question, what is Univision's business strategy for keeping pace with the growth of U.S. Hispanics?
We've significantly invested in content, in infrastructure, and in technology. And I believe that Univision is very well prepared and set for the next level, which is basically being able to offer our content everywhere, every day, and
Every device.
And every device, absolutely. I believe that it is of vital for the broadcasting industry to develop a transmission standard that would allow us to deliver our content, our signal, to all platforms all the time. You know what the FCC stands for?
What?
Friendly Cable Commission. So
I thought it was
I mean,
Federal Communications, but
I'm sorry?
I thought it was Federal Communications, but you've added a whole new color to
It's
that.
got nothing to do with communication. But so I don't understand even what the argument is, saying, give me your content, I'm gonna sell it to somebody, I'm gonna get paid for it, but I'm not gonna pay you. Great business concept.
Wow, who knew that's what the FCC truly stands for? Interesting. All right, now let's hear from NAB's Chief Technology Officer, Kevin Gage.
So Kevin, we're looking forward to the show. And as the head of NAB Labs, can you tell us what NAB Labs is up to and what we can expect at the show?
Yeah, well, NAB Labs has been really busy over the course of the last year. I look at it as we have three basic units, AM, FM, and then in our TV broadcast, and then the technologies that flow across all of them. In AM, we've been really pushing hard on testing out an all-digital platform, and I think if you go to the BEC, you'll have a presentation by David Lair, who's on our staff, who will be going over those results of what we've been doing, and the results have been outstanding. You know, we went through a couple of bumps, and this is all part of R&D. You got to learn where some of the issues are, and as we started learning about those issues, we've been able to move this program forward, and we're seeing outstanding results. And I fully recommend you go to the BEC conference and watch and listen to what David has to share. In the FM standpoint, we're mobile. That's what can I say? We're mobile. We're on handsets. Next Radio, hybrid FM broadcasting, works also with Ubiquity's HD radio standard, and as well as a global standard that we've been creating, and now moving into the connected car dashboard. We've been accelerating at startup speeds with that project, and so we now have, as I said, probably close to 12 phones in the marketplace on Sprint that have this. The consumer reception to it has been incredible. Broadcasters are learning about what it means to have this interactive, tactile environment on your cell phone. And what they're realizing is the customers, the consumers, are really liking it. They really enjoy it. And that's the power of the local broadcaster connecting with today's technology to the consumers. And then finally, what we've been doing on television has been really looking at what is a next generation broadcast platform going to be like. What does it need to do? What does it need to support? And what are the technologies we need to pull together to make that work? And then we've been working very hard with the ATSC 3.0 movement to be able to go in and say, okay, here are the things that we need as broadcasters so that we have that capability down the road.
Right. Well, it sounds like there's so many exciting innovations happening in broadcasting right now. But what is really exciting for you at this show? What should people see while they're out there?
Well, there's a lot of interesting stuff. As I said, Next Radio, I think you need to go by the booth and also see how it works with HD radio and the Ubiquity. As you can see, we're starting to move into the car. I think that's very, very exciting, and it really brings a whole different level of what a radio broadcaster can be to the consumer. I would say 4K, 4K, and 4K. We've got a lot of 4K out there. And what I think is important to understand is 4K is not just a broadcast technology, it's a display technology. And within that display technology, you have the ability to go native with a 4K picture right down to the screen, or you have the ability to have multi-view type environment, which you could have multiple screens as well as a hybrid environment where you can see multiple video screens as well as internet connection and all kinds of other things happening. That's very interesting stuff, and you're going to start seeing bits and pieces of that show up on the floor, as well as what it means in the production environment. So the ability to pull a 1080 picture out of a 4K screen now gives a producer a lot more capabilities to be able to decide what exactly is the right picture for the consumer. Over the Futures Park, I have to talk about that. Our Futures Park is really our R&D area. It's where we bring in the best, what we think are the best R&D projects around the world, and present them to our NAB membership and to the attendees of the conference, the convention, to be able to see what's going on. And so you'll see NHK will be there showing off 8K, we'll have 6K, we'll have 4K, we have 3D, we have high dynamic range, we have all kinds of different things going on that are just showing what you can do with it. On top of that, there's a mobile area in which we will be showing where mobile television is now working in the emergency alerting space, tablet TV, a number of different things that are going to be there to show. Again, broadcasters are moving into a different direction completely.
Let's just talk about the show floor. Now, if it seems larger this year, that's because it is. In fact, there are 930,000 square feet of exhibits to check out there. There's really no easy way to do it. You just have to put on your best pair of walking shoes and get on that floor and explore, talk to people, pick up some of those free candies they're giving out at the booths, and just see what interests you the most. There's so much to see, so many options. I was out there, I saw every type of microphone, every type of antenna, live trucks that you can check out. It is really a broadcaster's dream, and someone that's in the entertainment or media industry, it's just neat to see what's out there. Here's some of the stuff that our crew found.
Hey there, I'm Bill Roberts, and I head up product management for Adobe's video products. We're here at NAB Show 2014, and we're announcing our 5th release since last NAB, so it's a big summary of what's happened, but it's also a massive new release of all our products across the board. Really big release for Premiere. We're tying in more and more of the After Effects technology, so instead of having to actually go into After Effects, you now have live text templates that you can change on the fly inside your Premiere editing experience, mass tracking, all interchangeable with After Effects. But all the products received really big updates. Another thing we're excited about is the integration with Creative Cloud. So we've got Typekit integration as well as Cooler integration with After Effects and Premiere. So more and more adding services to the products you get with Creative Cloud, as well as the amazing products themselves. One of the exciting things for us is always to be here with our customers and to have them show how they use our products. We've got amazing stage demos throughout the show. One of the ones that's really cool is YouTube Nation, shooting with the Red camera, delivering a daily show at 4K every day. So if you want to come by and see us, we're in the South Hall, booth 3910. And if you can't make it down, you can always go online and check out all the information as well as see some videos on how the features actually work.
Hello, I'm Bryce Button, Product Marketing Manager at AJA. We've got a really exciting new baby to introduce you to, and this gentleman is called Scion. And Scion is a brand new camera that handles 4K, Ultra HD, 2K, HD in a beautiful, elegant, and ergonomic form factor, really designed to be used right out of the box. So we start at the front with a PL mount, and the sensor itself is what we call a global shutter. You don't get the problems you often get with rolling shutter with bendy images and light problems. You've got a straightforward confidence monitor up here. Connectivity is all very straightforward and simple. AJA is very excited to announce a couple of brand new mini converters. We have the Hi-Fi Plus and the Ha-Fi Plus. Both of those converters deal with HDMI. And then finally we have the LUT box. The LUT box is designed as an inline color transform box. We're in booth SL2505, so we hope you come join us.
Okay, joining me now is Bob DeHaven. He is the General Manager, Worldwide Communications and Media for Microsoft Corp. Bob, thanks so much for joining us today.
It's great to be here. Thank you for the invite.
You guys had some pretty big announcements here at NAB Show. Can you tell me, first let's start with Skype.
Certainly. The Skype announcement is probably one of the biggest announcements we've made. We've seen Skype land in video broadcast with all the big events going on all over the world. So we just launched Skype TX, which is basically short for Skype transmission. It's going to sit in the production center, so that when video view or when news broadcasts want to go out and get those Skype live reports and bring them in, they'll be able to do so in a very production-oriented environment that will allow for a simultaneous HD feed. So the second time it runs, it'll be an HD feed, and we're getting a lot of buzz on that. A lot of buzz on that.
Yeah, we've seen news. You know, as a reporter, we've seen News Gathering Go, where you're basically broadcasting live from your cell phone. Will you be able to do that with this new platform, basically?
Absolutely. We've been doing that for years. Now we're going to add the production background behind that to make that easier, more effective, more professional, so that the production centers can reproduce it with more consistency and just have a much better overall experience. So we're very excited about that. That's a fundamental change that we've seen in media broadcasting, and we've seen Skype leading the way with that.
It's funny because Skype has become a proprietary eponym, basically, for doing a live call or a live shot with these kind of things. Do you get giddy when you see it on like Ellen and that kind of stuff?
I love it. I love it. It's kind of fun. You know, the Microsoft brand is becoming cool again, and it's becoming cool almost in a rapid format as this shift to the cloud comes about, and as things like Media Azure services becomes more and more front and center. You're seeing a lot of industry analysts following Microsoft and what we're doing with the cloud, and it's really fun to see things like Skype or even Excel. I see Excel and I see email, Office 365 on a lot of these shows too.
And we just got it on our iPads, which is nice too.
Yes, that was big news last week.
Not
an
NAB show, but yeah, there you go. Tell me, anything else that you've announced here today that we should know about?
Yeah, we had a couple other big announcements. We did a big deal with NASCAR, where we're putting all of their video content onto the web and managing it, like we've done with NBC Sports for Sunday Night Football, for the Notre Dame franchise, and for the NHL. So we're seeing more and more vendors come to us to sort of manage that whole architecture in the cloud. And we're doing it with partners. And so that's kind of been Microsoft's forte for a number of years, is to do this through partners. And we're almost acting like a general contractor in that space. And it really seems to be landing well. And I think the reason it's landing so well is the success we had coming out of the Sochi Games. Did you by chance get a chance to see?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I followed a lot of it. I was in Russia last year, not for the games, but last year, so I had a good understanding of that place.
So we broadcast the Sochi Games to five different broadcasters across 6 data centers worldwide, 22 countries, 23 days of live streaming video with a bunch of content on the background, zero downtime over that phase. And we also had the largest single web-based event in the history of the web, the US-Canada hockey game, where we had 3 million concurrent viewers. And I think that was game-changing for us.
Wow, 3 million people at once.
At one time watching that particular broadcast. And it sort of validated the security and the safety, the uptime, and it's almost been a game-changing event for us. Literally, since the close of the games, I have been on nonstop CXO, CMO conversations about moving into this space with the Microsoft Azure cloud, and it's been phenomenal for us.
Are broadcasters, does everyone know that Microsoft offers all of these services and products?
They're beginning to discover it. We've spent 3 years building Azure Media Services, a couple of years sort of building our partner deck out, getting some robust success stories out there, and it all culminated with the Sochi Games. And now it's a stampede. We're getting a ton of people coming to us say, all right, we want to either play in your cloud or we want to bring our content to your cloud. And it's been a game changer for us.
So besides that, what are some of the trends in the industry that are sort of driving people towards Microsoft for these solutions?
Three basic areas. One, Microsoft's made a multi-billion-dollar investment in the cloud. So you get all that Microsoft brings to the cloud, right? All that stuff we spent the last 8 or 10 years redoing security on. The fact that there are content laws in Asia that are different from content laws in Europe and South America. Microsoft sort of takes all that out of the way for you, so that you want to run your video or run your content And whatever device you want to push it to, whether that's Apple iOS, whether that's Android, whether that's Microsoft, all that environment is taken care of in an Azure event. There are multiple CDNs on the back end of that, so you can choose your partner that you're most comfortable with, and then you can allow Microsoft to basically general contract it. And I'm telling you, the business model is really taking off. We've made a big bet on cloud, and we think that media services through Azure is our vanguard or our linchpin for sort of turning Microsoft into a brand name as it relates to cloud computing, safety, and content control.
I mean, the last thing you want as a consumer or a broadcaster is to get that dreaded message, this device is not supported, when you go to stream something that's online.
Absolutely, or you could suffer what we've been seeing with the Oscars and even with Games of Thrones last night.
Yeah,
so,
I was gonna say last night. I don't want to name names,
yeah,
but
yeah, some of those apps are going down, and that's a big decision point. You've got to understand what's involved in that network, whose architecture is it, has it been tested, have you run through it, what partners are using, and all that comes from Microsoft Azure Media Services. And it's again, I use the Sochi Games a lot because it was a major broadcast over 23 days, lots of content, lots of countries, lots of distribution, lots of data centers, and it came off flawlessly. So.
Okay, real quick, we just have a couple seconds here. Bob, tell me what your favorite part of the show is. What do you look forward to each year the most?
This is the best media show in the world. The vibe here is just awesome. You know, every year I get here, it's now up to almost 100,000 people, and we've been watching it grow for a long time. Just the dynamism and the energy and the amount of people and things that are going on, and how quickly we've migrated from our old methodology into a digital or IP world, and how successfully it's gone. And I think this show has a lot to do with that success. So.
And that people are embracing all these changes.
And quicker than I expected. I really expected it to be a much slower lag time, but it's sort of ramped up overnight. So. And I think NAB is a big part of that. So.
All right, Bob DeHaven, thank you so
Rich,
much for joining
much.
us this afternoon. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right, returning to the show floor for the second time is the connected media world. Now, this is an area that showcases technologies and services that are revolutionizing how consumers connect with media and entertainment, kind of like what we were just talking about. Let's learn more from CNTV correspondent Rachel Kopchick.
Welcome to the connected media world. It's where many new companies that are emerging in the multi-platform broadcast world are being featured. And I'm joined by Neil Nixon with BPL Broadcast. And Neil, your company really organized this entire section of the exhibit hall floor. What can people expect from this?
So this is something we've put together for the last 2 years. We are partnered by our platinum sponsor Cisco, and they were very keen to join with us, and it's really given this exhibit gravitas, and it's helped us attract more and more businesses at the cutting edge of multi-platform content delivery, multi-platform content security and monetization, and demonstrate exactly what they're doing to help them shape the future of our market.
And what specific types of companies are being featured here?
We have some fairly small startup type businesses. We have very big companies here. Intel, Accenture are both with us in this exhibit. But the key thing is that what they're developing, large or small, are very cutting edge products that are enabling the multi-platform broadcast world to work.
And there's going to be several seminars hosted here. What can people expect from those seminars?
So there are seminars running every day. Some of the presentations are just individual from our exhibitors. And then we also have 2 panel debates running each day, where we have a panel of experts and a moderator discussing key topics that are really impacting this market at the moment. The audience are able to join in, interact with the discussion, and really, get some good learning done and make some good comment and help influence what we're doing.
Exactly. What are some of the examples of some of the topics, the hot topics that are going to be discussed here?
So I think monetization is a big issue. People are pretty confident in how they create content and deliver it to multi-platforms now. What's not quite so clear yet is how anybody makes money out of it. So that's one of the things we'll be looking at. Security is a big issue. The minute you start disseminating video content across multiple devices, it becomes very critical that you can securely deliver it and people don't pirate it. So that will be discussed. We're looking at audio in the connected world. So there's a number of topics, the role of the internet, etc., etc. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Yes, very exciting section of the show floor. Thanks so much, Neil. We appreciate it. You can come check it out, the Connected Media World in the North Hall.
Thank you, Rachel. We know thousands of you are talking about NAB Show right here on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or any other social network we don't know about. We're monitoring it all with the help of Red Button TV's Buzz Control, and we're going to show you some of the tweets that we are checking out. This one from CMCW16. She said, we need monetized data and leverage the cloud. NAB Show, Vince Roberts, obviously at one of the sessions earlier today, I'm thinking. Let's take a look at another one. Some of that tasty optocopter action at NAB Show. Everyone's flying. Yes, we have seen a lot of drones here on the show floor. It is a big growing area here at NAB Show, and of course, lots of people talking about the new possibilities of capturing film with those. All right, this is a great one. Look at that picture he tweeted. Cool Chris 731. I feel like everybody I follow on film is at the NAB conference right now. Hashtag Vegas, NAB Show filmmaking, and you know what? I think he's right. I'm looking through my tweets, and there are just so many people that are tweeting about this show, the interesting things they're seeing out there on the show floor, and also the people that they're running into. Now we're going to just show you some of these numbers that we have here. The reach, look at that, 20,492,522. What do we have next? Impressions going on. 13,911 tweets, although I feel like that's just in my timeline alone. 4,037 Instagrams. 4,000 Instagrams. What do you think about that?
That's impressive.
It's a lot of Instagrams.
It is. It is. I like the impressions number, though.
Impressions number is impressive.
Yeah, it is.
It's always got to have that big number. But it is true. I mean, if you're looking at your Twitter feed, you can't help but notice how many people are chatting about NAB Show. Let me introduce you to the man to my left here, Guy Coleman, the Chief Marketing Officer of VocalBooth.com. I've spent a lot of time in vocal booths myself.
Thank you, Rich.
You maybe have built some of them.
Hopefully so.
Tell me, what does VocalBooth.com do?
We manufacture portable and modular recording studios, sound control rooms, testing environments, anything that can be put up and taken down, put up and can stay, in fact, in many cases.
And how many years have you been doing this?
16 years.
16. And how has the technology changed in those 16 years, or has it?
The technology has changed. One of the things is, we started off with these simple little 4x4 boxes, and now we're doing 200 sizes from 4x4 up to 16x24, and double walls, and floating floors, and STC-rated glass, and high-tech fan systems, so that the air is flowing, but the sound is not.
What are the challenges of building these booths, and why do people need better ones than other people? Like, does a TV station need something that a movie crew doesn't?
Well, yes. One of the things that where technology is that people seem to think they need to have a cone of silence, so to speak, or soundproof. Soundproof is a common word when people call up or contact us. It's really about sound control. If you can reduce sound in an environment and control that environment, it doesn't have to be soundproof to really get a good result.
Can we do one right here in the middle of this area?
Absolutely, absolutely. There are booths out here. It's just that one can get into and have a phone call or record. It's quite an interesting environment. And in the age of Pro Tools and Logic and other kinds of recording software, there's a lot of talented people out there that can put one of these in their home or a small studio office, some space, or schools are huge business for us right now, because broadcasting, everything is
Wait, you're telling me there's young people that are trying to take my job away? They're getting trained, and they're
in
going
line,
through
Rich.
these schools.
They're
I know.
in line right behind you.
I've met with a lot of them, believe me, and they're all gunning for me. What are you exhibiting at the NAB show this year?
This year we're exhibiting really a little bit of everything, including a brand new booth that I'll mention in a second. But we're showing what we call a Diamond Series, which is a non-parallel wall unit that has a floating floor, double walls. We have a large larger booth that one could use for a drum room, 8x8 size.
What does a floating floor mean?
Floating floor is where you decouple the hard surface of the bottom of the vocal booth itself with the hard floor that it gets put on. So there's material in there. We happen to use a polyester batting material that's made for us exclusively, that the booth creates a subfloor, and we build a booth on top of that. That attenuates a lot of those low standing waves that kind of want to sweep in and come up and vibrate through the hard surfaces that are in the booth itself.
Can you tell me some of I'm sure you've built booths for some notable folks. Can you share any names?
Sure. We've, a couple years ago when Mariah Carey was pregnant with twins and trying to record her Christmas album, we built a booth for her to do all her vocals in that she put in her home. Interesting part of it is she'd asked for Hello Kitty pink. And so that's her favorite color. And I discovered that there actually is a color called Hello Kitty Pink. And we found it for her, and that was the interior of her booth. So she's been a sweetheart for us. And we've also worked with Lady Gaga. We did one for the back of her tour bus. So I guess we kind of attract the divas. On the other side, we've got Matt Bellamy and Dominic Howard, who are in a band called Muse, which is it's done pretty good.
Oh yeah, they've done pretty well. Yeah. What's the best part about NAB Show for you? What do you like to check out when you're out there? Is it the people? What is it that
It's a great
makes
question.
it fun?
What I like about the NAB, and we've been coming, this is our 9th year showing here, I'd like to have seen who's kind of moving up the scale. Red Camera is a great example. I love the technology and the flashing. I remember years ago they had a small booth and they were doing tattoos in the booth, as I recall. Now they've got this huge booth and they've got all this great equipment. So I like seeing companies and seeing how they have grown and built. And like Bob was here earlier from Microsoft, and seeing Microsoft, really kind of have this new entry and stake out a claim in broadcasting. Those are the things that excite me.
Shared my taxi this morning on the way here with someone from the Red booth, and she's like, you got to come over and check out the booth,
Absolutely.
And of course, they've done just amazing things with their technology as well.
Really
All right, Guy Coleman, Chief Marketing Officer of vocalbooth.com. Go check them out. Where can they check out your booth?
We're in the South Lower Hall at 10124. Come out and say hi.
And now I know where to go if I need to do any voiceover work while I'm here.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks so much for joining us today. All right, my next correspondent really needs no intro at all. Let's check in with Ryan Salazar of Broadcast Beat.
This is it, the 2014 NAB Show. We're in between Central and North Halls right now. The excitement this year, it's about cameras and the cloud. Let's go into Central Hall and find my top picks.
All right, I'm with Dale Backus from Small HD. How you doing, Dale?
Yeah, I'm great. How are you?
It's a great NAB so far. So tell us about your latest product.
Yeah, so our DP7 Pro line, the monitor line we introduced about 9 months ago, we're introducing a feature where we're allowing advanced color grading on the monitor. And so the cool part about it is not just are you creating grades with the incoming feed right from your camera, you're actually outputting that graded signal downstream as well, either wirelessly or wired.
That's amazing. Can we see it? All right, let's go see it.
So as I create grades, you'll actually be able to see the effect on both of these displays, right? That's the before right there, and then there's the after. I did in like 5 seconds on the DP7.
Oh, that's totally cool. So this is the DP7 Pro.
Correct.
From Small HD. Yep. Thank you so much, Dale. All right, I've got Jeremy from Atomos. How you doing, Jeremy?
Very well, very well.
So tell us about, actually, by the way, we're using one of your other devices in the Broadcast Beat crew across the show. Thanks for letting us use that equipment, but this one looks different, so tell me about it.
Yeah, so this is a 1920 1080 screen. It's our first foray into the 4K world, and there's a few things that we solved in our other products. It was a recorder, monitor, playback deck all in one device. So we've done that again. It's exactly the similar operating system, but for 4K. But we've added a few things. Our last products were either HDMI or SDI, but we've got both on this. 12 gig SDI, one of the world's first 12 gig SDI products, Genlock, so it can take all the 4K camera standards in, and HDMI 4K up to 30p. Yeah, this is the Ninja Star. This is HD. It follows out the ones you're using, the Ninja Blade I think you've got over there.
Yes.
And this is basically customers who are using extreme sports, GoPros, etc., second and third cameras. They don't need a big monitor.
Right.
They just want to record ProRes from their MPEG-based Japanese camera, which they're great cameras, but it's not the same workflow as if you're recording ProRes. So we made a $295 screenless version of the Ninja that you're using.
All right, I'm with Willis from DJI Innovations. How you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
Doing great. It's a wonderful NAB. So I've seen some of your devices before. This looks a little bit different, so tell us about it.
This is the new Phantom 2 Vision Plus. It has the same kind of camera that the Phantom 2 Vision has, except it's smaller, lighter, and it has a 3-axis gimbal, so you get stable video, getting 1080p up to 30 frames, 720p up to 60 frames.
Amazing. And right here, too, I see an iPhone. So how does that work?
You're able to get a live feed of the camera, so you can control all your camera functions and record, take pictures, actually transfer the files straight to your phone and upload it onto your social media website.
So why don't we take this thing for a spin, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I'm going to step back now. I thought that you guys just made helicopter-type devices, to do these shoots, but I found out you have, it's a stabilizing system, right?
It's the new DJI Ronin. You want me to stand right here?
Oh, sure.
Okay, all right.
Here we go.
So with the DJI Ronin, it's a 3-axis handheld gimbal, and it stabilizes in many ways. And if you pan the device, it has like a follow mode that's super smooth.
Willis, thank you so much for showing us this device.
It's awesome. Great.
Have a great NAB show.
Thank you very much. Enjoy.
An awesome start to the 2014 NAB show. It's only day one. We have several more days to see the most amazing audio and video technologies in the world. I'll see you tomorrow. By the way, where Ryan was standing is right here in front of our booth. You can take a selfie with that awesome Las Vegas sign. Just come between Central and North Halls. You can find us here and tweet that picture out. It makes for a great memory from here at NAB Show 2014. Okay, let's take a look at what's ahead for tomorrow. The show floor opens at 9 a.m. We've got a lot on the docket. Let's see what's going on. A keynote at 9 a.m. from FCC Chairman Tom Wheeler. That's going to kick things off. We also have a keynote at 9:10 a.m. from Mark Ramberg of Amazon Web Services. At 10:30 a.m. there's a super session called Anytime, Anywhere, Any Device. That sounds like an interesting one. 11:45 a.m. Falling Skies, a behind-the-scenes look at video effects for television. And at 12:30, what a great guy, Steve Harvey. He's going to be inducted into the NAB Broadcasting Hall of Fame. Also, one of my idols will be there, Yahoo Tech superstar David Pogues. That's going to be a fun luncheon. At 2:30, another super session, The Next Frontier, original programming in the world of online video, and how appropriate on a session about online video. This one will be streamed online, so you can watch it at nabshow.com. And at 4 o'clock, another super session, World Without Rules. Is this the end of the open internet? I'm sure there's going to be some very good discussions there. Lots in store for tomorrow. I hope you join us right here again tomorrow morning. We'll be right here at the Las Vegas Convention Center. Have a great evening here in Las Vegas. Or if you're watching us online at nabshow.com, have a great evening wherever you are. Until then, I'm Rich DeMiro. I'll see you here at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Good night.